what's going on? Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be going through the moon through the houses. Last week we did the sun through the houses. I will leave that video linked in the description box if you have not seen it yet. Today we're going to talk about the moon, and as I mentioned in the last video, please keep in mind that your birth chart is very specific and personal to you. So this is going to give a really good general description of your moon placement, and it's a good foundation to work off of. But all of the placements in your chart are going to manifest based off of where they're placed and then how they are aspected with other planets. So the way that the energy manifests can really change very drastically depending on how it's aspected. I just want to remind you guys, when you're watching this video or any other video like this, it's not always going to be 100% exactly accurate. It might be, but the energies can change based off of what is going on in your chart. This is going to help you understand your moon sign a little bit better. When we are talking astrology, the planet is the what, the zodiac sign is the how that energy is expressed, and then the house is where is that energy being expressed in your life. You start to look at the houses, that's when we get a lot more specific. Now last week we talked about the sun, which is the expression of our soul in this lifetime. It's our ego, it's our identity. It has more to do with our external expression of energy. And the moon is much different because the moon is who you really are. Most people find that their moon sign resonates with them a lot more than their sun sign. We feel like our moon sign, and that is because our moon is exactly that. It is our feelings. It's our emotions. It's our subjective view of our reality. Our moon is how we act and operate when we are in emotional situations. It's who we are when we feel comfortable to be our most authentic self. It's who we are when we are vulnerable. A lot of people don't see this side of us. Your romantic partner, your family, maybe close friends will see this. But more than anything, you know yourself as your moon sign because it's how you really feel internally when your walls are down, when you feel safe to be yourself, when you feel your most comfortable. That is when your moon comes out. So it's how we react and process our emotions. It's how we react to emotional situations. It has a lot to do with our intuition, how we experience our intuition. So the moon is probably the most important part of your birth chart if you really want to use astrology for self-understanding and self-awareness. So let's jump right into this. If you guys enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up for me. Don't forget to subscribe. I would love for you to come join the fam, and let's get started. Moon in the first house. These people navigate their lives through the lens of their emotions. They navigate their life by feeling. They feel their way through life. These people are very sensitive. They are emotional. They're very sensitive to energy. So these people are always reading the energy of a room, reading the energy of a person. These people can really read people very well. Now, something I find with moon in the first house, it goes one of two ways. You are either very outwardly emotional, you wear your emotions on your sleeve, you wear your heart on your sleeve, people can see your emotions right on your face, you almost can't hide it, so you might come off as being very emotional because you are. Or on the other end, the other way this manifests is these people are pretty closed off, at least from how you see them on the surface. They will be reserved with their emotions. They might really have a wall up. They might be kind of hard to get to know on an emotional level because they do kind of protect themselves. They need to trust the environment, they need to trust the people until they open up emotionally. So these people are either really open with their emotions or very guarded with their emotions, and I always find it goes one of two ways. These people can be hurt very easily. They're sensitive. They can take things really personally. They feel emotions really deeply. They feel it in their body. So that's kind of why they can either come off as really emotional or seem closed off, because they're either just so sensitive they can't hide it, or they're so sensitive that they have to hide it to protect themselves. These people are delicate, they're gentle, they're romantic. Whether they show it or not, they feel very deeply. They are probably very in tune with their emotions. Again, even if you can't see that, they feel everything. These people are creative, they're imaginative, very, very intuitive, because again, you know, whenever anything is in our first house, a lot of times it's kind of like we had to take on that energy and use that energy to safely navigate our life and our childhood. So moon in the first house people had to rely on their intuition and on their feelings to get through life. So they are very intuitive. But I think the big thing with moon in the first house is these people have big emotions, they have deep emotions. How that manifests is going to change depending on the person's chart. But they are very emotional and very, very deeply sensitive and very, very sensitive to energy around them. They can pick up on your mood, they can pick up on your emotions. They are feeling everything out before they really dip their toes in. Moon in the second house. So with this placement, there is a direct link between your emotional stability and your emotional fulfillment and your finances, your possessions, your money, your material situation. So these people need to feel financially secure in order to feel emotionally secure. These people are very concerned with what they have. They're concerned with their money because that is what makes them feel safe. So if someone's finances are not stable, that will leave them feeling emotionally unstable. Now, that doesn't always mean that this person's finances are stable. The moon moves very quickly and it changes signs every 2.5 days. So that's why the moon and like Cancers who are ruled by the moon, that is why they have this reputation of being moody, because it's constantly changing energies. So when we have the moon in the second house, this can mean that your finances are not always stable. It's important to you. So if you want to feel emotionally stable, these people will work to make sure that they are financially stable. But this can mean that your finances are kind of up and down, or they're just not consistent. That's not always the case. It's definitely going to depend on the sign that the moon is in. But moon in the second house doesn't just automatically mean that you have great finances. That's not always the case. It just means that you need financial stability to feel emotionally secure. You can probably guess that these people, and maybe this is you if you have this placement, these people can be emotional spenders. They can be impulsive when it comes to spending money based off of how they feel. So maybe they're mad, maybe they're sad, they go and spend a lot of money. Or maybe they're in a really great mood, they're very elevated and very happy, so they go and spend a lot of money. So again, it's this thing where your mood and your emotions are dictating, and they're directly related to your finances. It's dictating how your money flows in and out. Now, depending on the sign, you could spend a lot of money or you could be more frugal. Maybe like an earth sign, for example, is going to be a bit more reserved when it comes to spending money. They'll be a bit more practical. But if you have a water moon in the second house, you're going to be an emotional spender. You're going to be probably a bit more impulsive. And when your moods fluctuate, so do your finances. These people can also be emotionally attached to their possessions. They could be sentimental. They could hold on to things. They could be a hoarder. They could hold on to things because it has either a financial value or an emotional value or both. They tie their emotions into what they have and their possessions, so they could really hold on to things. And depending on the sign, these people can be really generous. They can love to give gifts. They can love to spend money on people. It really does depend on your own chart. But main thing with the second house is your emotional well-being, your emotional fulfillment and stability is directly related to your finances. Moon in the third house. I think one of the coolest parts of this placement is that usually, again, depends on your own chart, but usually these people are very good at articulating how they feel. They're very good at talking about their emotions. They're able to take how they feel and logically put it into words and explain it to somebody, which is a skill and a gift and a talent that not all people have, but these people know how to communicate their feelings. These people need mental stimulation and an intellectual connection with other people. That is really how they get their emotional fulfillment, is by having those connections with people that are intellectual, having those conversations that are mentally stimulating. So these people can be social butterflies, or they can just have really great relationships with other people because they're able to emotionally and mentally connect with others. These people can change their mind and their opinions pretty often. These people are very changeable, and they change their mind and their opinions often because their thoughts and their emotions are just like constantly free flowing and kind of moving quickly. They might feel a certain way about something one day, and then, suddenly they feel different about it, which then changes how they logically process it. So it's this like dance between how they feel and how they think. And so they're very changeable. These people change their minds a lot. And with that, they can be restless. They could really need a change of scenery. If they are in like an emotional funk or feeling a certain type of mood, they might need to like get up and go do something, or get up and go on like a little adventure, and just change their scenery, change the people they're around, so they can like shift their energy and then get into a different state of, emotion. But these people are usually pretty comfortable talking about their emotions. They want to talk about their emotions. Of course, it depends on the sign, but this is usually the case for third house moons. It's very common for this placement to really enjoy writing. These people will sometimes maybe even be best at writing out how they feel. They're good writers. These people also like to travel. They like to go on little adventures. They like to explore. And those things all bring this person emotional fulfillment. The big indicator with this placement is they are able to logically process how they feel. They intellectualize their emotions, and then they're able to easily communicate it to others. Moon in the fourth house. These people, they're always searching for a feeling of home. They're always looking to find where it is that they belong. It's very, very highly likely that there is a strong tie to your mother. Now, whether your relationship with your mother is positive or not, there's a strong tie there. There's something that kind of binds you very closely to your mother. These people feel comfortable at home. They feel comfortable with family. Now, maybe your home life or your family life isn't very great. Maybe you don't have a strong bond with your family. It doesn't matter. You, throughout your life, are going to have that desire of home and family and planting roots and being surrounded with people that you love. So if you don't have a great family life, you're gonna be motivated to make one because you really need that. You need that sense of belonging and that home family energy in your life. Depending on how this is aspected, maybe you look for a mother in other people. You need people to mother you. That's not always going to be the case, but that's an example of how this can manifest. Now, sometimes with this placement, you move around a lot because the moon is not grounded. It moves quickly. And it flows. So sometimes people with moon in the fourth house will move around a lot throughout their life. They might have a lot of different homes throughout their life. There could be a lot of changes within the home. These people also usually want children. So I've heard people with their moon in the fourth house say, I can't wait to be a husband or wife, and I can't wait to be a parent. So that's also very common with this placement. These people can also hold on to the past. The fourth house has a lot to do with our past and with our roots. So when we have the moon there, we can be kind of attached to the past. We can have a hard time letting go of the past. These people usually really like to nurture others. So maybe you act as the mothering energy for the people in your life. And these people are very emotional. This is a very sensitive and very emotional placement. But these people also tend to be pretty private. These are the types of people who usually are not gonna like broadcast their life all over social media. They kind of stay behind the scenes a little bit because they feel comfortable to be themselves when they are in their home environment. So although these people are very sensitive and emotional, they can kind of hide that. They can internalize their emotions a lot. They might not feel comfortable expressing their emotions outwardly. They feel comfortable being emotional when they're in their home, when they're in their private space, their comfort zone. This is a deep placement to have. It gives somebody very deep emotions, and they can be just, very sensitive, very private, but also they have a lot of love to give. They really are big on family and the people they love. So home is where their loved ones are. Moon in the fifth house. These people love to play. The fifth house is a fun house. It is a house of creativity. It's the house of joy and fun in our hobbies and our inspirations. It's also the house of like dating, like fun dating, not like long-term dating, like flings and sex and stuff like that. So these people are very playful. These people feel emotionally fulfilled when they are just having fun and doing what they love. They have a lot of hobbies, they have a lot of interests, and when they are getting to just have fun and like be a kid and be totally into their hobbies, that is when they feel their best. That's when they feel emotionally fulfilled, and that's what they need to feel good. And they really love the pleasures of life. They're just like here to have a good time and enjoy themselves. People can also be very creative and very artistically gifted. They may express their emotions in an artistic way, which can look different for, you know, so many different people. It doesn't have to be like literal art, you know, like how whatever they feel is creative, that's probably how they're going to express themselves emotionally. There's a very childlike energy here, and the fifth house also rules children. So this is also a placement where you probably love kids. You may want to have kids. It can give you some indications about the type of kids that you'll have. But these people, kids are usually drawn to them. They may feel really emotionally fulfilled being around children, working with children, playing with children, because fifth house moon people, they understand that inner child joy. It's easy for them to connect to that. Some people have a hard time connecting to that fun, playful side of them. Not moon in the fifth house. That's where these people feel the most comfortable. Now, it's pretty likely that these people will have like a lot of romantic flings. This is the type of person that may not find themselves in a lot of long-term relationships. They may have relationships that don't last very long. They might have a lot of like intense, steamy, playful, like love affairs that don't have a ton of longevity in them. These people love love. They love to be admired. They love to be complimented. They love that like innocent puppy love feeling. These people can also be kind of impulsive. They can be a little selfish. They can take risks. It's that kid-like energy. You know how kids will just like do whatever? They'll just try anything. They'll just, if they want to do something, they're going to do it because they're not jaded. They don't think of all the ways it could go wrong. That's kind of the same thing with fifth house moon people. They can be risk takers because they just want to do what they want to do. But whatever they feel like doing, they just want to do it. They want to have fun. They want to be spontaneous. They want to live freely. And of course, it's going to depend on, you know, the sign it's in for sure and how it's aspected. But these people are fun loving. They love their hobbies. They love to play. And that's what brings them emotional fulfillment, is just doing what they like to do because they like to do it. All right, so moon in the sixth house. These people need a routine in order to feel emotionally stable. Now, that doesn't always mean that they're gonna have a routine. It's really gonna depend on the sign that it's in. I can relate to you guys because my moon is in the sixth house and it's in Pisces. So routines are something I've struggled with my whole life. But I feel my best when I stick to a routine. Go figure. But moon in the sixth house, these people need a routine. They need to be organized. Again, they're not always going to be, but that is what's going to bring them a lot of emotional stability. It's really going to balance out their emotions. These people could be like emotional cleaners, emotional organizers. The big thing with this placement, and this is going to be really helpful if you have this placement and you don't know this, with the moon in the sixth house, your emotional well-being will manifest physically more than any of the other moon placements. So for example, if you are not in a good place emotionally, if you're depressed, if you're anxious, if you're sad, that will manifest in physical ailments. So if there's something going on physically, that is an indicator of something on an emotional level that needs to be looked at. So what is going on internally will be mirrored to you externally with your physical health. These people also get a lot of emotional fulfillment by helping others. It's very likely they will work in a field that has to do with helping people because the sixth house does rule our like day-to-day job. So these people will feel emotionally fulfilled by helping other people and also by the work that they do. So these are often people who can be workaholics, or they just take work really seriously. They're very dedicated to their job because it makes them feel good emotionally when they work hard. These people can often feel like their coworkers are their family. They usually have like a good family-like type of energy with the people that they work with. They're also usually perfectionists in their work or just in their life in general. So they could be a little bit hard on themselves. They could be a lot hard on themselves. They could be very picky and very overly critical of themselves and the work that they do. Another thing with this placement is that, again, depending on the sign and how it's aspected, these people can struggle with responsibility because the moon is not a grounded energy. It moves, it's moody, it goes up and down, it switches energy very quickly. So these people can struggle with responsibility, they can struggle with routine, but they really need that stuff in order to feel emotionally stable. So it's important for these people to get their life together. Literally, it's important to figure out a routine and a system that works for you because that is going to help your emotional well-being drastically, which is going to help your physical health drastically. A really positive thing with this placement is that usually these people are pretty dedicated to self-improvement. They're usually the type of people that want to improve. They have the motivation to want to improve, especially when they make the connection that their internal well-being is directly related to their health. This can be a tricky placement. It's not the greatest placement for the moon, but it can be a really beneficial placement if you know how to work with it. Moon in the 7th house. So these people feel emotionally stable and secure and safe when they are in a partnership, when they are in a relationship with another person. The relationships really make them feel fulfilled. These can be the type of people that really believe in soulmates. They're really looking for their second half. They're looking for that other person that completes them. They probably want marriage. Marriage is probably important to them. They want that long-lasting, committed relationship. These are the types of people that are in monogamous relationships. They're not dating around. These are not your player types. It does depend on the sign and how it's aspected, but usually these people are a bit more traditional. They're much more into monogamy. They're looking for their other half because that's what makes them feel safe. They need to be in a safe, secure relationship. They're not going to do well with anything that's not safe and secure. These people are also very sensitive to the people that they're closely surrounded with. So they will be very sensitive to their partner's emotions, and they will almost mirror their partner's emotions. I have seen this with people that I know with this placement. If their partner is in a mood, they're in that mood too. They really mirror back that energy. And with the moon having to do, with our emotions, then your emotions are directly dictated by your partner, which can make people with this placement actually have a difficult time identifying their own emotions versus their partner's emotions. So it's important for these people to be able to detach from their partner. And some placements, it's going to be easier for them to do that. In Aquarius moon, that person's going to be a bit more detached. But a Cancer moon in the 7th house, that person's going to be very clingy to the emotions of the person that they're with. But these people really do need a partner, a relationship, in order to really feel fulfilled. That is what makes them feel their best. That's what makes them feel safe. These people are going to desire and need a partner in life. All right, moon in the 8th house. Where do I begin with you guys? Let's go over some of the more general, basic things of the moon in the 8th house first. These people are deeply sensitive, very psychic. This is a huge indicator of psychic abilities, moon in the 8th house. These people have very deep emotions that can go to dark lengths. Moon in the 8th house can be an indicator of some type of turbulence in your life that you have or do experience. This can be an indicator of a lot of traumatic events in your life. These people are very observant and they are always studying other people. They are investigating other people. They are watching people. They are really, paying attention to the things people do. These people are probably pretty interested in psychology and why people do the things that they do. These people are also quite mysterious. They keep a lot hidden. And it's also very common, not always, but it's also very common that these people are really into the occult. These people might be into magic, witchcraft, astrology, any esoteric type of concept, black magic, okay, depending on what's going on in the chart. But the thing is, moon in the 8th house, here's the truth. I'm just gonna be honest. You don't really know what is going on behind closed doors with these people. These people are very secretive and they keep a lot hidden. But with the 8th house, these people can get into some dark stuff, some pretty like intense things sexually. 8th house also has to do with money. So these people could be into, for example, they could find themselves involved in like drugs or involved with people involved in drugs and like secret shady money things. These people live a mysterious life. You don't really know like what is going on behind closed doors. They could be into some dark stuff, some weird stuff. You know, I say that respectfully. You don't really know what's going on with these people. They keep a lot hidden. They keep a lot underground and under the surface. You might not ever really know what goes on in like the minds of these people or what these people really do behind closed doors, because in their own private time when they are alone, they could be doing weird shit. I'm just saying, they could be doing all sorts of things, you know, that you just would never know about. This is also a placement where these people can be really possessive. They could be jealous. They could be obsessive. They could literally be like obsessed with people, obsessed with sex, obsessed with drugs, obsessed with whatever. This is also a placement where addiction is possible. These people could have addiction issues, or if they do not have these issues, people very close to them do. Maybe the mother does, or they find themselves in relationships with people who have addiction issues or are into shady stuff, or, you know, shady money deals or whatever. These people can just find themselves in situations where they're kind of surrounded by dark stuff. They're surrounded by secretive things. They're very psychic. They see through other people. They're observing other people. But yeah, 8th house moon, you don't really know what's going on with this person. And depending on the sign and how it's aspected, this can manifest in a lot of different ways. It's not always going to be as extreme. For some people, this is going to be extreme. These people are going to be involved in dark stuff. For some people, it's not going to be that crazy. It really depends on your own chart. But yeah, moon in the 8th house is an interesting placement. We'll leave it at that. And depending on the sign and everything, these people can be really secretive with their emotions. They can really hide their emotions. They can really they have very deep emotions. These people are very deep emotionally, but it could be kept very hidden. There's a lot of hidden, mysterious energy with moon in the 8th house. Moon in the 9th house. These people, they love to learn. They love to explore. They love philosophy. These people love philosophy. These people love to search for the meaning of life. They love to talk about the meaning of life. These people get emotional fulfillment by learning and evolving. These are also the types of people who kind of make their own laws and they hold themselves to those laws. They have high morals. This is what's right and I'm gonna stick to that. They stand pretty firm in what it is they believe. Faith can be a big thing with moon in the 9th house people. They could be on like a quest to discover their faith. These people could find a lot of emotional fulfillment through religion, spirituality, philosophy, education. They could kind of struggle to find their faith, but it's something they will always be searching for. And when they do find faith in something, that becomes like their emotional rock. They don't like to let their emotions define them. They can seem kind of emotionally detached. It doesn't mean that they are emotionally detached, but they try and allow their emotions to come and go, and learn from their emotions. They don't really like to be defined by how they feel. They will not define themselves by their emotions. They will always be looking at the bigger picture of things. These people have big dreams. They're dreamers. They have big goals. These people have an emotional need and an emotional desire to explore, to learn, to grow, to evolve. They're very curious. They could be kind of unconventional. Again, they kind of like write their own rules and stick to those. These people are also the travelers of the world. These people need to travel. They need to explore. They need to experience life. They need to experience other cultures. So traveling is a huge thing for moon in the 9th house. These people will feel very emotionally satisfied and fulfilled by traveling and exploring the world. They will like to leave the country. They'll be interested in other cultures. And that is something that really makes them feel satisfied. These people also really like intellectual conversations. They love to talk to people that they can have those unconventional conversations with. They want to talk about philosophy, religion, the meaning of life. So they will love to connect with people that can have those deeper, more meaningful conversations. These people love to learn, they love to explore, they love to travel, and that's what they really need to feel emotionally stable. Moon in the 10th house. These people are very ambitious and they are very motivated, especially and primarily when it comes to something that they are passionate about. These people usually really enjoy being in the public eye. This could be, for example, like an indicator of fame or somebody who's well known. Again, it depends on your own chart, but these people tend to feel comfortable in the public eye. They care about their public reputation. They want to be recognized. They want to be inspirational to other people. They want to be a leader. That makes them feel really fulfilled. They have a desire for status and recognition and power and being a leader. So these people are usually very emotionally fulfilled by their career or whatever they are out in the world in front of people doing. So these people could be like, feel like they have a really big life purpose that they need to fulfill. Or they could just be very well known in the workplace. They could be well respected in the workplace. These people are completely willing to work hard. They believe in working hard, and working hard brings them emotional fulfillment, but they are, they're searching for achievement and status and that recognition from other people. This can be an indicator of somebody who works in a healing profession. Maybe you're in the medical field or a counselor or some type of spiritual healer of some sort, some type of healing arts. These people can be very intuitive with business or with, in the workplace, they could be really intuitive when it comes to other people. So they will be able to kind of know how other people view them, and then they will be able to kind of mold themselves to how they want people to view them. They know what the public wants. They know what people want from them. They know how people perceive them. They're very intuitive to that. So they could use that to their advantage. These people are also very wise, and it is not unlikely that you would find that success and that status and recognition that you're looking for a bit later in life. It could take you just a little bit more hard work to get there, but these people are willing to do it. So these people are very ambitious when it comes to something they're passionate about. When they care about something, they put their everything into it. But these people really find emotional fulfillment by being recognized and by being noticed. And again, it depends on your own chart, but that's usually the case. These people feel comfortable in the public eye. Moon in the 11th house. The big thing with this placement is these people need to feel like they belong. They need to feel a sense of belonging, and they want to be accepted by others. That is what makes them feel emotionally fulfilled. These people care a lot about their friendships, their communities, the groups they're involved in, their networks. These people will do a lot of those things. They might be involved in a lot of community groups or different friend groups and stuff like that. These people really get emotional fulfillment from their friends. Their family is usually like their friends, they are friends with their family. These people want to be a part of something. They usually really enjoy being social. These people really feel their best when they're surrounded with people that are like-minded, that have the similar goals. It's really important for these people to connect with those types of people, but they always are just looking to belong. They want to belong. They want to be accepted by others. These people also have really big dreams. They have big dreams, big wishes, big hopes and goals for themselves, for the future. They're also very changeable, and their moods can change a lot because the moon is not a grounded energy. So when these people have really big goals and really big dreams, they might struggle to accomplish those things because their objectives might change a lot. They might want this today, and now suddenly they want to do it this way, and now they want to do this. So they could kind of be all over the place. It's not always easy for them to stay grounded when it comes to their big dreams, but they do have them. They do have big goals. And so, depending on your own chart, you may or may not struggle with actually achieving those. I think something to look out for with this placement is that these people can really seek approval from others. So I think it's important for these people to be able to validate themselves. They're always looking to be accepted. They're looking for approval. They're looking for that validation from their friends and the people that they are connected to. So I think it's important for them to be able to give that to themselves. People can also be really like emotionally attached to like humanity and helping humanity. They can take on the burdens of other people. They can take on the burdens of the whole world as if it's their own, because they are so emotionally connected to community, to the people, to the greater good. So these people just, they want to belong. They have a lot of friends. It's important for them, but that's where they find their emotional fulfillment, is through their connections with other people, through their friendships and through their communities. So it's important for them to have those things. Otherwise they will feel that sense of emptiness and loneliness and like they, don't belong to something when they are supposed to. All right. And lastly, we've got the moon in the 12th house. So this is not always the easiest placement, but I do find I know a lot of people with their moon in the 12th house. These people tend to feel very misunderstood. They can also feel very confused by their emotions. Now, depending on your own chart, this can manifest in a lot of different ways, but I have known people with their moon in the 12th house to say that they don't have emotions. Like they're completely disconnected from their emotions. They don't feel anything. Some people, on the other hand, will be very sensitive, very like emotional, like very connected to their emotions. But with this placement, these people have a tendency to dissociate. They dissociate when it comes to emotional situations, emotional conversations, their feelings in general. When something happens to them that triggers emotion, they will dissociate. They really keep their emotions to themselves. These people do not broadcast their emotions for other people to see. They keep it to themselves. So when they are in an emotional situation, they may dissociate, or they will definitely have to retreat. These people will have to retreat and go be alone and go within themselves and try and process the emotions on their own. And you may or may not even notice this about these people. Like you might not realize how much emotion they are repressing or holding back or keeping hidden. You might not really realize it, but these people have very deep emotions, and they will repress them. They will keep them very hidden. These people are escape artists, okay? They will escape. They will escape into their own little world, into their imagination. They will retreat. They will go off the grid. Like they will go rogue and just be in their own little world, because that's just how they deal with their emotions. And again, sometimes these people don't really know how to access their emotions. They may feel like they don't have emotions. It really depends on your own chart. Now, they are very psychic, very empathic, and they're very good at reading the emotions of other people. So they will usually be able to pick up on your emotions. They can read your emotions, but when it comes to their own, they're confused. Their own emotions can really confuse them, but they can really see and understand other people's. It's pretty interesting. They're empathic, but it's like their own emotions just completely confuse them. These people should be aware that depression, anxiety, addiction is all something that can, happen in their lives. They need to be able to find inner peace. They need to be able to start to address their own emotions and not try and cover them up or run away. So these people they're very deep. They have very deep emotions. It depends on your own chart. You may or may not be in touch with your emotions. You might not understand your emotions at all. You might try and avoid them. You might try and mask them with drinking or drugs or whatever. And that also happens with people who are very psychic, and these people they're very psychic. They're very in tune with the energy around them, which again can be overwhelming. That can lead people to feeling depressed, anxious, confused, not knowing what's mine and what's not mine. So these people are very psychic, they're very deep, but they're very mysterious. They're very hidden. They keep a lot to themselves. They're not putting everything on display. You don't realize the depths of what is actually going on with these people. They keep a lot hidden. But they do have very deep emotions. Whether they want to get in touch with it or not, they do. They feel very deeply. I think the main thing that I always notice with these people is they dissociate. They detach and go into their own like imaginary world or something. Or I don't even know what they do, but they will isolate. they will dissociate. They will be very confused by their own emotions. So yeah, that's just like, I find that all the time with 12th house moon people, is they dissociate. All right, you guys, that wraps it up for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up for me if you did. I love you guys so, so much. I will see you in my next video. Bye.